Good afternoon, all of you. Today's topic is biodiversity. So, what is meant by biodiversity? So, biodiversity means bios means life for living organisms. Bios means life for living organisms, and diversity means changes or variations. Changes or variations. So, it means life change is also called the biodiversity. The life change is also called the biodiversity, or living organisms change is also called the biodiversity. The changes of living organisms or the changes of life is also called the biodiversity. So all of you students we observe our surroundings, then identify different kinds of organisms, then identify different kinds of organism variations. So for example, it's formed in size, formation, shape, food habits and behavior, etc. So these are the main features or variations of the life. So these are the main variations of the life. First of all, size, formation, shape, color, food habits and behavior, etc. So these are the main variations of the biodiversity. For example, so 20,000 species of ants are present in different kinds, and 3 lakhs of beetles, and 20,000 of fishes, and 20,000 of orchids. So these are the different kinds of organisms of biodiversity. These are the main different kinds of organisms of the biodiversity. And next one is the levels of biodiversity. And next one is the levels of biodiversity. And levels of biodiversity. So the levels of biodiversity means it's having a different kinds of levels. It's having a main 3 levels. So first of all, biodiversity is popularized by sociobiologists. Edward Wilson. So first of all, the biodiversity was popularized by sociobiologist Edward Wilson. He described a combined with diversity at the levels of biological organizations, and it's having the mainly 3 levels. So biodiversity was first popularized by sociobiologist Edward Wilson. He described a combined diversity at the levels of biological classifications, organizations. It's having a main 3 levels. It's having a main 3 levels. It's having a 3 levels. So first one is the genetic level. First one is the genetic level. And second one is the species level. And third one is the ecological level. So main is having the 3 levels. First one is the genetic level, and second one is the species level, and third one is the ecological level. So these are the main 3 levels of the biodiversity. It's having the main 3 levels of the biodiversity. So first of all, now explain the genetic level. So genetic level, it means it is the diversity of genes within the species. The diversity or changes in the genes within the species is called the genetic diversity. A single species may show high diversity. A single species may show high diversity. A single species may show the high diversity at the genetic level. For example, The best example of genetic diversity is Rauwolfia vomitoria. Example is Rauwolfia vomitoria. Rauwolfia vomitoria. So Rauwolfia vomitoria, it is a medicinal plant. Medicinal plant. Rauwolfia vomitoria, it is the medicinal plant. But it is grows in Himalayas. It grows in Himalayas. It grows in Himalayas. But Rauwolfia vomitoria, they produce the chemical. They produce the chemical that is reserpine. Reserpine. They produce the chemical is reserpine. So the reserpine is used to treatment of high BP, high blood pressure. Rauwolfia vomitoria, it is the medicinal plant. Rauwolfia vomitoria is the medicinal plant, but it grows in the Himalayas only. Himalayas, but they produce the reserpine. They produce the reserpine, but it is used to treatment of high BP. It is used to treatment of high BP. Okay, so Rauwolfia vomitoria is a single species. It is a single species, may show high productivity, high capacity, or high variations, or high diversity. Okay, all of you understand? So a single species is the Rauwolfia vomitoria. So it is a medicinal plant, but it grows in the Himalayas. They produce the chemical is reserpine. So, but it is used to treatment of high BP. And next, we are also observed the rice. So India has 50,000 species of rice, and mangoes. We are observed also mangoes. So mangoes are 1,000. Mangoes are 1,000 different types of species of mangoes. So we are also observed, and rice has a 50,000 of strains of rice, and mangoes have a 1,000 different kinds of types. So these are the main variations of the genetical changes or genes present in the Rauwolfia vomitoria and rice and mangoes. These are the main diversity of the levels. First level, diversity of the first level. So that is the genetic level. So these are the main changes of the genetic level. And second one is species diversity. Species diversity. So what is meant by species diversity? Species is the interbreeding group of similar individuals sharing the common gene pool and producing the fertile offspring. So that is the species. So species diversity. Diversity means variations or changes. Variations or changes. So variations or changes in the species is also called the species diversity. Variations or changes also present in the species is also called the species diversity. And next, its best example is amphibian diversity. Example is amphibian diversity. Amphibian diversity. So in the Western Ghats is greater than that of the Eastern Ghats. Amphibian biodiversity is Amphibian biodiversity is the Western Ghats and greater than the Eastern Ghats. Western Ghats and greater than the Eastern Ghats. Western Ghats and greater than Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats. So amphibian diversity is a greater than Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats. So that is the species diversity. And third one is the ecological diversity. Third one is the ecological diversity. Ecological diversity. So first of all, ecological diversity. What is meant by ecological diversity? The levels of ecosystem has a great diversity. Has a great diversity. So the diversity is present in the ecological level or ecosystem level. So the diversity in the ecosystem level is also called the ecological diversity. So example is India has its deserts, rainforest, mangroves and coral reefs, wetlands, estuaries and alpine meadows has a greater ecosystem diversity. So we are also observed forest. First of all, forest, rainforest, forest and rainforest, mangroves, alpine meadows, mangroves, alpine meadows, estuaries, coral reef, estuaries. So these are the main ecosystem levels. So these are the main ecosystem level: forest, rainforest, mangroves, alpine meadows, coral reefs, estuaries. So these are the main ecosystem levels of the diversity. And for example, Scandinavian country of Norway. So that is the main ecosystem level of diversity. So ecosystem level of diversity or ecological diversity. So mainly it divides to three levels. Divides to three levels: alpha, beta, gamma. So first one is the alpha, second one is the beta, and third one is the gamma. So these are the main ecosystem levels of the three. Okay, next three ecosystem levels. So ecological diversity, they contains the three levels: alpha level, beta level, and gamma level. So what is the alpha? So alpha is a number of taxa within a particular area. So number of tags are within a particular area. So that is the alpha ecosystem diversity. Alpha ecosystem diversity. So number of tags are within a particular area. So that is called the community or ecosystem. Community or ecosystem. And next beta. So beta ecological diversity is the diversity between the two adjacent ecosystems. The diversity between the two adjacent ecosystem also called the beta ecological diversity. And third one is the gamma ecological diversity. So gamma ecological diversity is the overall diversity for different ecosystems. So alpha is the number of taxa within a particular area or ecosystem, and beta is the diversity between the two adjacent ecosystems, and gamma ecosystem is the different kinds of ecosystem having the diversity. So that is the gamma diversity. So alpha has a one community or one ecosystem, and beta has a two adjacent ecosystems, and the gamma has a different kinds of ecosystems. So they have in the levels of the ecological diversity. So beta where diversity it is also comparing with number of taxons. Beta diversity it is also comparing with number of taxons. So that is all for beta gamma. So it has a one ecosystem level changes and it has a two ecosystem level changes, and gamma has a different kinds of ecosystem levels of diversities or changes. So that is the main three levels of the ecological diversity. So this is the levels of the biodiversity. And next one,